Um, and I wanted to edit this in the way that took out like people talking over, like the police or Dre or certain things that I just felt like probably shouldn't have been in there. Oh wow, they have the Athena Brownfield like obituary thing. I'm gonna have to cover that tomorrow because I do want to talk about that. So I'm sharing this so we can go ahead and get started. I hope everyone's having a great night. Y'all, if y'all are not following the Alec Murdoch case, oh, follow the Alec Murdoch trial. I am covering that. Um, it always changes, Jennifer Kate. I don't know why, but it always changes my stuff. Like after I go live, for some reason, it always goes back to 350. I don't know why it does that. Did you guys get notifications? Do you guys see me? Do y'all see me? Let me see if y'all see me. Yeah, y'all see me. Volume is really low. Wow, really? Anyway, is the volume low for anybody else? No, case you haven't missed anything. You are here in time for. I was gonna say for a good time, but yeah, not really. I have the volume turned all the way up. You guys, let me know if anybody else is having issues with volume. Y'all can see me. Y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear me good, or is it not that great? Not low. Okay. Hey everyone. All right. So yesterday when we did the first stream covering the body cam footage, it got off to kind of a rough start. So I'm going to go ahead and say a few things, put it out there, and then we will get right into it because it is like I don't remember how. Let me see. It's this one's 18 minutes, so it's not as long as the other one. Okay, so a few things. Trigger warning due to the nature of this topic. We will be talking about a story concerning a veteran, a Marine named Marvon McCray. His wife, Dre McCray, she was a beauty influencer who had a following of like 600,000 followers on Facebook. She started her Facebook account years ago, and her husband was alongside of her. In most of her videos, they seem to have a great relationship. She was more heavier set, and her husband Marvon was just had a really good build. Throughout the years, they started this alkaline diet. They started taking kratom, and behind the scenes, they started having some issues. Now, I here's the thing: do I think she should have showed us or showed her followers that she was having issues? Absolutely not. If a marriage is having problems, that's no one's business. It's not her followers' business. It's nobody's business but hers. So, which brings me to say the um I just read the chat and then got sidetracked. So her followers were not aware that she was having problems. Now, at some point during this footage, Dre would, go to the bathroom and like tinkle while she was on streams. She talked about them going across the border to get Xanax and like smuggling drugs across like seriously. I mean, it's all there. She was very, very open with her followers, you know. So then Marvon, his health began to decline. He started having seizures, and they really didn't know why he was having these seizures. Um, it seemed like, just for me going back and putting a lot of researching this story so much, it seemed like they were taking a lot of kratom. Um, Marvon has a little boy named Raza. He also has two daughters that he was not the biological father to, but he was in fact, the father figure in their life. He was their stepdad, and it seemed like he had a great relationship with these kids. So everything seemed great. She builds this big old following, and watching her earlier content where she was heavier set, I enjoyed watching her. Like when I had to go back and research, these people. I would watch her content, often finding myself like smiling and laughing and, enjoying her content. But something did seem to change. And this is coming from me. And this is coming from a lot of people that used to follow her. Like, yes, we saw a change. There was a change. it seems like there was at some point they were taking like Xanax and like medication for pain and stuff like that, and then they switched over to like a more clean, she says, clean lifestyle, where they were taking kratom for their pain and um, other stuff. And it seemed like she was kind of against going to the doctor. She didn't really like the going to the doctor. She was more of like um, having, like different herbs and stuff, to try to fix things. Um, oh, there was drugs. I mean, earlier there absolutely was because she's on stream. These are in the earlier years when she was still heavier set. There, she's on video talking about how they go to Mexico and smuggle Xanax across the border, and they were close to the border in one of those videos talking about how they were trying, yeah, a more holistic approach. Yes, so um, and it was not prescription medication that she was getting, from my understanding. And she was saying like, I'll do it because you're more likely to get searched, so I'll do it. So a lot of things, if you watch a lot of the content that maybe if you didn't see then, after the situation happened with Vaughn, looking back, you can kind of pick up on things, and I've seen that a lot as well. People that were her followers saying, I didn't pick up on anything, but going back and rewatching her stuff, I kind of pick up on some things. Um, Now, um, it seemed like her and Vaughn were having some problems, and he ultimately decided to, attempt to end his life. Um, so one morning, they had been fighting the night before. The next morning, he gets up at like 7:15 in the morning, and he goes to the bathroom, and then goes out back to the shed. About an hour or so later, she goes back out there, and she discovers that he is hanging. Um, so she screams. I think she said in the body cam, I like my daughter helps me like with everything concerning him, so I yelled for her, but then I told her like never mind. So she was trying to figure out how to get him down. She said she like tried to get him down herself, but she was like too weak. Um, so she ended up able to like cut him down. The cops were called. They were out there. Now, after this took place, this story, I never heard of Dre McCray or Marvon McCray, but after this happened, this story really blew up on social media on YouTube because Marvon's family, his biological mom and dad, um, was trying to get people to cover this story because they found out that Marvon was in the hospital in a coma through social media. When right after this happened, Dre told her followers that Marvon was in the hospital on life support due to seizures. Um, so the mother ended up like calling the police station, from my understanding, and found out that he was actually in the hospital in a coma due to trying to take his own life. Now, let me be clear in saying this. His mother, Miss Letitia, she was no longer on his birth certificate. I think he was adopted by his grandmother because Miss Letitia was very young when she had him. I think she was 14 years old, but it's been a while since I've covered this case. So I think she was 14. Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys. But she struggled financially a lot. At one point, writing like a hot check for groceries, got in some legal trouble. She ended up, you know, allowing, giving Vaughn to Vaughn's grandmother to adopt him because she couldn't. She was too young to do it. She didn't have the means to do it. Um, they ended up reconnecting later on, but throughout the years, they've had like a on again, off again relationship where they would go years without talking, and then maybe they would talk, and then they wouldn't, and then they would. So when this happened, they didn't know that anything had happened until Dre tells her followers, and then they catch wind. But they're hearing that it's due to seizures. So then when they have to do, they reach out to Dre. From my understanding, she doesn't. She wasn't like a straight shooter with them. She didn't give them like the information. She at first I don't think she answered them. From my understanding, so they found out that he tried to unalive himself, and was trying to find out where he was, and she wasn't telling them. So they took to social media. They asked people, they actually started a Facebook group. There was a Facebook group started where the moderators of that Facebook group started reaching out to YouTubers, like big true crime YouTubers, like Christina Randall, I think Tendalay, but the bigger YouTubers at first like didn't respond, from my understanding. So they ended up getting in touch with another YouTuber who started covering this, and then that YouTuber brought in one of her friends, and they started covering it. And then other people started picking it up. I heard about it, and I took 4 days to really research this story and watch as many videos of Dre McCray as possible. Now, when I started, they seemed so happy. They got along great. Heavier set. He was good build. But by the end of these videos, you guys, they were both rail thin because he had lost so much weight. I swear it aged him. Like, he looked like he was 55, 60. And mind you, he was like 30 something. I don't remember their exact ages. I should have looked that up before I started. But it's been a while since I've discussed this topic, so I don't remember everything exact. But he was like in his 30s. And because he lost so much weight, and it seemed like he may have been living an unhealthy lifestyle, that he began to look older. Kelly B said, so he had 2 birth certificates because my ex-husband was adopted when he was a little boy, and he had 2 birth certificates. More than likely, yes. But once you get that second birth certificate, from my understanding, the first one is like null and void, from my understanding. So a lot of people looking into this held Dre responsible, but to my understanding, the only person that's ever said that Dre killed Vaughn was one creator that I don't have anything to do with. As far as I know, I don't think any other creator ever said that. I never stated that. Just from everything that I heard, it did seem like she was controlling over him. And here's the thing, whether anybody agrees or disagrees, something led Marvon to want to take his own life. What would drive him to do that? Most of the time, it's finances, or it's, marriage and your problems in your marriage. Usually when a man tries to take his own life, it's due to, veterans do a lot, but financial issues are problems in your marriage. They were not having financial issues because she was very successful with her online business, selling paparazzi, as well as being an influencer and having her, making videos, going live on Facebook. She had over 600,000 followers, and she had 2 YouTube channels as well, which didn't have as many followers. But from my understanding, she had just kind of started putting content on those channels. So my thing was, from doing all the research that I did, I came across text messages where Marvon and Dre had been struggling in their marriage. So he was asking her to give him money so he could go stay in a hotel. Come to find out, from what was said, and I'm just going off what was said, that Marvon was not allowed access to their money. Even though he brought in money, he was a veteran, he brought in money from the VA, he contributed, he was not allowed a debit card, he was not allowed access to their funds. So there were text messages that were leaked of him begging her, please give me some money. Like, I really need to get away. I need to get my head on straight. I'm going to go stay in a hotel. Also, because Marvon had seizures, he was not allowed to drive. So anytime he went anywhere, he had to get like an Uber. But because he had no money, he could never go anywhere. So a lot of times, like, he would try to leave and have a little bit of money for an Uber, but then have to come right back because he didn't have money to pay for a hotel. He also got a substantial amount of money from a lawsuit where there was a surgery that he had that was botched, I do believe. Also, you guys, please feel free to do your own research. I encourage you to, because I've done my own research and these are my opinions. But, I want everybody to have their own opinion. You don't have to take my word. I'll never ask you to take my word. So anyways, she had basically told Marvon that he had PTSD. He ended up going to a therapist or like a counselor or someone and telling them, like, my wife says I have PTSD. And after them evaluating Marvon, that doctor said, you don't have PTSD, but it sounds like your wife may, because Marvon was telling his therapist about him and his wife. And the therapist was like, I don't think you don't, but I think your wife may. So to me, it just seemed like it was a controlling relationship um, on her side, financial abuse, in my opinion. I never said that I believed that she hung this man. I just think they had a bad relationship. They were in a bad place in their marriage. And unfortunately, because he was so upset and he became depressed and didn't know which way to turn. Maybe he felt trapped. Um, you know, can you imagine getting into an argument with your spouse and feeling like you just need to leave, to get away, to breathe, and you can't? And your spouse tells you, just go to the other room. And you're like, I can't go to the other room. Like, I need to get away. And your spouse like, I'm not giving you any money. You don't need it. So the police video shows 3 vehicles in the driveway where, yes, all 3 of those vehicles were theirs. So Marvon had an older truck. He had the newer truck right here that you guys see, and then she had that car. So all 3 vehicles were their vehicles. Um, so once this topic got picked up a lot of people started rallying around Marvon's biological mother because, well, like most of us, were like, dang, that's her biological, she's his biological mother. Why is his wife not telling her what's going on with him? Like, we get it. That's not, like she didn't raise him, but that's still his mom. Like, surely he would want his mom to know what was happening. We came across footage because at first her followers were saying, well, they were estranged. She had nothing to do with his mom. He had nothing to do with his mom. But then we found footage that was not that old where he was so happy talking about how he had reconnected with his mother and his stepdad, and he had talked to his sister on the phone, and he was making plans to go down there and see them. And from my understanding, that was one of the reasons why they bought the camper, because they were going to go and spend time with his biological his biological family, right? So, I'm trying to find something. Sorry. So, anyways, obviously, when we see that video, when we see that he is saying, "Oh, I'm so happy," I talked to my mom. I'm gonna go down there and see her. I got to talk to my sister. Like, we're gonna go down there again and visit them. A lot of us just felt like it was not okay that his family had to find out on social media that he was in a coma. Like, couldn't she have at least like called them and said, "Hey, listen, you guys don't have to come right now. Marvon is in a coma. XYZ happened. Um, XYZ happened. I'm gonna keep you guys updated though." I mean, in my opinion, I feel like maybe if she would have did that, they might not would have like felt the need to immediately go out there. Um, yeah. So my husband says I have 2 brothers that did not know their biological fathers. Both of them looked their fathers up and were excited to meet them. Exactly. Um, and okay, so let me also say this. I do not know the current status of Marvon. I do not know if he is alive. I do not know if he's still in a coma. I do not know if he's gotten like a miracle has happened and he is better and he is living life to the fullest. I don't know, and I'm not going to speculate. I will never say how he is doing unless I get some sort of solid proof. Because a couple of months ago, I think it was in not January, I think it was in November, an article was written by someone whoever did it should be extremely disappointed in themselves. But someone wrote an article, and um, they made it look like it come from a news um, channel. Like, it was like It was like 3 letters, like it wasn't NBC, but it was something like NBC. So it looked pretty legit. Somebody wrote an article saying that Marvon had in fact passed away. This article was sent to me, and I read it, and it looked legit. So I did do a video because I've been covering this story almost since day one. Um, so from my understanding, the family already knew. I was hearing that the family had known for a couple of days at that point. So I did a video, because there's a lot of people that I introduced this story to who are invested, who donated money um, to the family to try to see Vaughn, who has prayed for Vaughn, who has watched a lot of content concerning this because they want to know how he's doing. So I will always feel like if news comes out that is like solid, then I will tell you guys that because we've been in this together, right? So I'm not just gonna leave you guys like wondering, well, what's happening. So I'm not gonna abandon this story because people have muddied this story to use it as a reason to attack creators they don't like. You know, so I did a video, I did a live stream, saying that he had passed away. Come to find out, somebody faked that article. Somebody wrote that article, in my opinion, with the intent to get certain creators to say that to make them look uncredible. That's just my opinion. Either way, as soon as I found out it was not right, I privated the video and I issued an apology because, of course, I feel bad. I would never want to put out misinformation. So since then, I've not covered anything to do with this case. I don't think. Just if I got something solid, of course I'll cover it. But without it, I'm not. So I don't know his current condition, and unless I get something showing me proof that he is alive and well or that he's not, then I will let you guys know. This body cam footage is obviously solid. This comes from a FOIA that was put in by someone requesting it, and we're going to go over it. Now, I want to be clear. Now, when I edited this earlier today, I was doing like multiple things at once, but I did edit things out that I felt was unnecessary to be seen. Things are blurred. The majority of the content in the body cam is just showing Dre, being interviewed by the police, basically. That's the majority of it. It is already out. I'm not the first one to put it out. I'm not the one that got it. But I am covering the story, and I will continue to cover the story when things solid can come out. I looked over this twice today, and I don't think they ever show his body on here. I think it is blurred out, and I also think that I edited out some of the sounds. But we are going to watch this footage, and if you guys are not interested, you can skip this one. You don't have to watch this one. I cover true crime on this channel. This channel will be my true crime channel. And in doing so, in covering true crime, there will be times that if dash cam or body cam footage is released, we will watch it. Whether it be, the other day we watched body cam footage from the Idaho 4. It was, calls that have been put in for loud music. And the police showed up, and they're talking to Maddie, and they're talking to Xana, and they're pouring out alcohol. We watched that. I am treating this case like I do all of the things that I cover with as much respect and decency and care that I would if it was about my own family. You know what I'm saying? But I cover this is true crime. I'm not on here to talk about reality TV on this channel. That's the Bash Chat. We are separating the channels. This will be true crime, and I'm gonna do it here for this story, just like I did for the Idaho 4 when the cops were called out to their house, and nobody even gave that a second thought. If we watch body cam footage, you know what I'm saying? If you don't agree with it, I understand, but I've tried to make sure I do take things out that could be upsetting. I double checked to make sure things were blurred. A body is not shown on this, but this is true crime. And if you don't want to follow true crime because you're scared you're going to see, a blur something, then I would suggest not following true crime. And Lisa Thompson says Vaughn's family watched last night on Molly's channel, so they have seen the video. And from my understanding, they knew about this, I think, and they were okay with it being shown. I think they may have seen it before. Either way, they've seen it before I put it out. So, but we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna watch it now. We watched the first one yesterday, and the first one that we watched, it was from the perspective of one of the officers that got there, Heather Hint. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate that so much. So, in my opinion, people's using this like "How dare you show this" as a way to just attack a creator they already don't like. That is my opinion. Um, because I've looked through this, and in my opinion, I haven't seen that it shows anything. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get into it. So the footage that we looked at yesterday was from the perspective of one of the officers. This is coming in from another perspective of another officer, and this is the officer that we're watching now that actually says later on, um, they're transporting him to the hospital because they have a pulse, and Dre jumps up, really, really shocked. And I've seen people have different comments about this. I've seen people say, "Oh, she looked shocked, like she was scared," that they said that. It's my opinion she looked shocked, like she let out this sigh, like, "Oh my God," like almost like relief. There's a lot of things that I disagree with, and that I could say I think I would have did it differently. But I will say we don't know how we'll handle things, until until we go through it. So I think if it would have been me, if this would have been my husband, I would have jumped in the ambulance and went with him. I think if it would have been my husband, I would have did XYZ. That might would have been different than her. I'm not bashing her. I haven't bashed her throughout this whole thing. I don't think. I mean, I've disagreed with some of her actions. I said that I felt like she was controlling, but I have not attacked this woman. I've questioned a lot of things concerning her, but still, I don't recall attacking her. But we're gonna get into it, you guys. Let me know if y'all guys can hear it.
No, is there security?
Yeah, in the house.
Yes, this is the second part. This is the second part of the footage. No, he is not on that bed right there. That's just an empty bed. And from my understanding, Sean, they teach you how to make a lot of knots, right? Like several types of knots. it goes mute at different times to if someone was talking over the footage, or if there was something being said that I thought shouldn't be said, or if sounds were being made that I thought shouldn't be, I try to edit it out to keep it kind of, you know, a lot of the edited though is just stuff that like the person that initially showed this on their channel, they were talking like over the footage. So that way we could just kind of watch it without someone talking over it. I wanted to make sure we did that.
Left on the east side of the entrance that says the gate from the Lord has not been touched, right? Correct. It'll be on the west side of the building towards Yuma High. CRP will be waiting by your back. Where? 1219, 700 blocks, 18.
Why don't they send me a photo that is right there in walking distance instead of sending it? Okay, it's fine. Put it next door. But sometimes, and I get it, because sometimes you don't hear it because of kids or if you're in the key or stuff like that. So it's dispatch only, not the SRO, because they are
Man, can you
literally,
put my phone hold and
you
create
don't,
an
you
assault
disconnect from the radio because you're dealing with people there, so it's,
So Dre is back there talking to one of the officers.
I think it would be dispatch to be like, hey, as far as we're here, hey, are you available? If the then is at that point not available, then send dispatch. And I don't know why it changed, because it's supposed to be. I would always think man, they literally can do a lot more. Like, honestly.
Yes, she tells the officers that they have been taking kratom. She, in the first video, if you haven't watched it, it's up on my channel from yesterday. But she tells the officers, she says, we've been taking kratom, and I started wondering if the kratom was making him sick. She says she hid it from him. But I do remember a video where he didn't want to take it, and she's like, come on, go ahead and take it. But I don't remember if that was like a very recent video or if that was an older one. You are welcome, Jennifer. You're welcome.
So I wonder if they're calling her or there's some transport. Or transport or you think they're calling?
Well, no. It's in both ways.
Yeah.
In that audio, you are right, Jill. There was an audio of him where he said, if wasn't that the audio? He said, if I don't leave, I might not make it. And I think that was him knowing, like, if I don't get out of this house and get some peace of mind, it's not going to end well for me. Like, I'm not going to be able to continue doing this. And he said that. Yeah, he said that. I think it was in one of the audios that she recorded when he was talking to. He had talked to the kids, telling them like, I need to go. I gotta go to the doctor, and once I go to the doctor, I'm gonna get all better, and I'll come back. So, I mean, he was convinced. I think to me it sounded like he was depressed, and I'm not a doctor, but he sounded like he was struggling, and he just needed. In the audio, it sounded like the sheer like thought of him getting help gave him a little bit of relief because he said, "I'm gonna go to the doctor, and like everything will be fine. Like once I go to the doctor, like I'm gonna get everything situated." So it was like he just felt like he just needed to take those steps, and if he could take those steps, then everything would be okay. To be quite honest,
You
this
like this one? One if it's ready, we make a move now. Okay. On this first hand. Yeah. Ready out there?
Henry 12.
Head first. Head first for him.
Henry 12. Back in the road on Avenue 7.5 feet and East 21st Street.
Go down this way.
Can you please
Crazy A Bish. I have no idea where the knife is. That was looked at last night. We kind of looked around the shed. Like, do we see a knife? The officer even said there's no knife in here. So I really can't answer that. I don't know. I don't know what she did with the knife. I don't know if I mean they say that Marvon kept a knife on him, but I think he was in like his jammies still. Like he had slippers on. The slippers were on the ground. So I mean, if you watch their content, like Marvon would often wear like a gray what we call back here, and I know this is derogatory, but I don't know wife beater. Do y'all call them that? I don't know. I know I'm probably gonna get some backlash, but I'm sorry. I don't support wife beating. Okay, I'm a wife. I would not want to be beat. But back here we call them, you know, the. So I would see him when I watch a lot of their content. You know, gray wife beater, sweatpants, and a like a coat, like a long coat, and pajama, house shoes. You know, and it was, she did not say anything about him changing. So I think he went out there in his like pajamas. So, you know, some pajamas do have pockets, but I don't know if people that carry knives all the time, if they even carry them in their pajamas. I'm not sure. So I don't know if he had his knife on him and she got it out of his pocket. I don't know if she ran in and got it. I'm not sure. The police also stated they never saw the knife. That is true. So I'm not sure, but I'll try to answer any questions that I can, but I don't know. I didn't say that it said he was in his pajamas. Um, I said I'm not for sure if he was in his pajamas, but I know when in the police report that we went over a while back, and even in this audio, the first one, she said he woke up at 7:15, went in the kids' bathroom. She doesn't say that he changed that I recall. But then he went out, and at around 8, she went out there, and that's when she discovered him. So this or that, it did not say this or that. Your comment's kind of confusing, respectfully, because your comment, I'm reading it. It says it did not say his pajamas. She said he had on pajamas. That's kind of conflicting. It didn't say pajamas. She said pajamas. And separately stated she used one. Yes, she stated that she used one of his knives, which makes me wonder because they always said if you watch their content, like when I went back and watched a lot of their content, Dre said I always keep a knife within arm's reach, and I remember she would grab one like just out of nowhere, out of thin air, like bam, knife, and she announced that she had made the comment that Vaughn keeps like a pocket knife and stuff. I think a pocket knife, or maybe just a knife. She said that Vaughn keeps a knife on him, and she keeps a knife close to her. So, Oh, thank you, Polly. Thank you so much. I'm going to read that comment because that is so nice. Has anyone told you you truly are a beautiful person inside and out, very graceful and respectful in your work? Awesome job, chick. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Because covering this story has really been hard on the soul. You know what I'm saying? Whew. So let's get back into it. I said he was in his pajamas because that's what was said in the beginning. See, I thought I heard that he may have been in his pajamas, but then going back, I'm just like, I just don't remember her saying that he changed. So maybe that's why I imagine that he was in his pajamas. But we did see slippers. There were slippers on the ground. So that would make me believe that he was in his pajamas. But let's continue, you guys. Thank you, Holly. That's a really nice comment.
Thank you. One of 1297. 10-4.
They're going to bring him out, ma'am, so just be prepared, okay? They're going to bring him out on the ground.
10-4. We're on the west side.
Yes. Hold on, let me get back where you guys can see me. Yes, in the first video that we went over last night, the first officer goes in when he's looking around the shed, he does say, I don't see a knife. And later on at the end, he talks to her again and he says, what did you cut him down with? And she says, his knife. And they talk about the knife and she says it was really sharp. He had just sharpened it. It was his knife, but he never says, well, where is that knife? And we'll watch that again if you guys want. Well, I can probably find that kind of quickly, so we'll watch that again if you guys want to.
Good.
Oh, the underhand. Good. Nice, got it. Keep bag. Yeah. 1 second.
Yeah, I could grab them. Iggy, do you have his face sheet?
No,
What's his date of birth? What's his name?
Marvon.
Marvon.
Yes.
Last name?
McCray.
McCray.
MCCRAY. Oh, there's one compass card.
MCC. They're still,
Show me out a secure report for me.
they're still working on it. MCC what?
RAY.
And it's my understanding just from watching the footage that she thought he was gone. Because later on when they say, hey, we're bringing him to the hospital, we picked up a pulse, like we have a pulse, she was like, I think she really thought at this point that he was gone. So she may just be in shock, like thinking that he's gone, you know? I don't know.
Okay, so
Ready? Put it up. Yeah. Coming in, let me know when you stop.
here's his name and DOB. Hey, you guys are transporting for what? Did you have a call?
Got a pull for now.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So just so I know what to tell them.
Yeah, as I saw Lucas stopped, I thought they did it.
Oh,
I said, no, he's got a pull.
okay, cool.
Okay, so this is where the officer is going back to tell the other officer, hey, we're transporting him, they got a pulse. And we'll go back to the other video and watch it again. But she's like shocked. But I think she thought he was gone. I mean, you know, I would have thought that if I would have seen Sean that way, you know.
Right.
So they're transporting him because they still have a pulse on him. So they're gonna transport him, okay?
Oh
But just deep breath.
Calm
Okay?
down. Let.
Just deep breath. We don't know if it's gonna be anything that's gonna be viable, but that's why they're transporting him, okay?
But they won't.
They're gonna keep
They're
trying.
gonna
They're
keep
gonna still
trying,
trying,
yes.
okay? To get him to go breathing on his own.
So at 7:15, he wakes up.
Okay.
You give him the.
Y'all heard that? So I think she really thought he was gone. Up until that point. Oh, crap.
You got anything that looks like it may have been used? It looks like it was cut. It's just,
And do you know who cut it? You don't know any of that, right? Probably him. So did you guys come in here first, or was it Officer Gina?
I think you guys were on scene first.
We were on scene first.
I believe so.
Do you know how he was he already down?
When we got here, he was already down.
He was already down.
Yeah, and that's what our notes said too. So either the homeowner did it or the officer did it. How you been?
I'm good. I'm good. Do you know what he was hanging from?
Yeah, so I pulled this thing was in the way.
What was it?
Right here.
Okay.
Now, let me give this cop credit. He has gloves on. Thank you. Because the first cop did not have gloves on, and he was in there just touching stuff, picking the rope up. And when I was talking about yesterday, I was talking about how he picked the rope up and he had no gloves on. Like, and I said something like, you know, they could test stuff for like DNA. And I had a lot of comments saying they could not test the rope for, or I think I said fingerprints, but I meant DNA. I had a lot of comments saying they can't pull fingerprints from a rope. But I was basically saying DNA because you are supposed to treat, police officers are supposed to treat every call like a potential crime scene. That's why when there's cases where it looks like it was a suicide and they later find out that it was not and it was a murder, they're able to prove it because they treated the crime scene like a crime scene and they took the necessary precautions to wear the gloves, to collect the evidence, and all of that, you know. So when I saw that the cop was not wearing gloves and he was just touching everything and picking the rope up, I was like, oh my goodness, like, are we serious? You know, like, holy hell, oh no, like, what the heck? Like, when he walked up to that house, they should have put gloves on, you know. So thankfully, this guy does have gloves on. And she's taking pictures. Another thing too, when I was watching the video from yesterday, I made a comment about that cop not taking pictures. I was like, we didn't take any pictures. He didn't have no gloves on. Thankfully, these two cops seem to be a little bit more, you know, they're taking pictures. They're wearing gloves. Casey, I hope your daughter is okay. And that your wall is okay too. One of my kids bashed their head. We're going to have a hole in the wall. You know what I'm saying? Our kids got big old hard heads. I hope your daughter's okay though, seriously.
Pulling all this stuff out.
What's that?
Oh, we moved in, we're tripping all over our gear.
Oh. It happens. Very small little area.
Yeah, it's always.
You talking about this cop right here? Yeah, this is an EMT, but I think the guy in the first video was the cop that was touching it without gloves on. So that says a lot that this guy who is an EMT has gloves on touching the rope, but the cop himself did not have gloves on.
I think there's gonna be some big jail.
I'm gonna look up something.
Check on.
Well, Desert Rat, let him know, that we appreciate the fact that he did his job and wore gloves and stuck to what I would think would be protocol that anyone would know. Because I was actually shocked to see that the law enforcement officer that went in did not have gloves on.
It looked like he was like on some type of drug, I was wondering what the heck is the thing whistling at me? What's the camera? I'm like,
Also, thank you so much, Pat, for the super sticker. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, what I have noticed, so this body cam footage came from the police department, right? Do you guys notice how they blurred out the cop's face, but they did not blur out the EMT's face? Why is that? Why did they blur out the officer's face, but not the EMT's face? And a lot of time when you get dash cam or body cam, the cop's face are not blurred out. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm wondering why they felt the need to blur out certain people's faces, but not everyone's. Specifically, EMTs.
Goodness, it didn't get the.
we don't need to collect it, do we? Or do we need to collect and put in evidence? I took pictures of it. I think that's it, pretty much. Responding or not. I hope you enjoyed my night driving. I was like, great. Now I'm gonna be all over the damn road. Yes. I was like, can I go over the curb? I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go over the curb.
She's just having a good old time, that officer. I'm like racing there, hitting the curb. Okay, so that was that. Not a lot. You don't even really hear the discussion that other than her being the one that says they're transporting him because we have a pulse. I'm gonna try to find the other one. Sean, where did we put it? Where did we put the other file?
Got it.
Yeah, I didn't say anything was wrong with her laughing. She doesn't know him. I'm one of those people that, I'm affected by things. So if I would have seen him, even if I didn't know him, I would have been affected. I would have went home and cried, which is why I can't work in law enforcement. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't work that type of way because I'm one of those people that would be extremely affected. I mean, oftentimes covering true crime, I've cried on this channel talking about children that have been murdered. Earlier, when we were covering the Alec Murdoch trial, when they were explaining the way his son was killed, like my eyes watered up. But she might be desensitized to it because, and I'm speaking in terms of the cop that was leaving and it was really, laughing, and it was just like another day in the field for her. So for her, it might not be a big deal. But yeah, Raven_heart for you says, I sure hope Dre wasn't around to hear the cop laughing. I don't care what's going on. She could have a little bit more respect for the situation. Damn. I mean, I could, yeah. If I heard somebody laughing when my husband just tried to, I would be a little bothered. I'd be like, holy crap, I'm right here. So, all right, this is the footage from, and we will.
We come to you and now! Exclamation mark. My babies are inside.
Okay, so there she's sending her mom a message. Come to Yuma now. She says my babies are inside.
What do you mean? Is that?
Okay, now for anybody that's missed this, we have watched all of this on another video last night. I'll link it. I'm just trying to get to the part to where she is told by the other officer they're transporting. You can see her reaction better. Also, I'm trying to get to the part to where when the cop goes in, he picks the rope up, no gloves, and he says, "Where's the knife? I don't see the knife." Also trying to get to the part to where when he comes back to talk to her, she's already changed clothes. She hasn't left yet to go to the hospital, but he asked her about the knife. So we're just going to get to those parts, and then we'll kind of chat for a second. And I have a lot of other stuff. I actually have a video where right after all this popped off, where she was getting a lot of heat, a video that she did with like her loyal followers. I have a video of that I don't think a lot of people has seen yet, where she's basically saying, I've heard that his family might come out here to try to find what hospital he's in. If they do, I'm not going to allow them to see them. And basically saying she needs to get all the evidence of the fact that Vaughn didn't have like a close relationship with Miss Letitia and his biological family, just to prove to the public that she's doing things the way like Vaughn would want her to do.
When I would respond, he denies only the last couple of weeks. On to come
Wakes up, just
suffering the most general. It was really what the doctor and my husband and so doctor says so. But it's
Yeah, the security report for me.
They're still working on them.
would be the personality. So they're transporting him because we still have a pulse on him, so they're gonna transport him, okay? Oh my! But just deep breath.
calm down, let.
Just deep breath. We don't know if there's gonna be anything that's gonna be viable, but
All right, so that's what she saw. You can see her a little bit better.
it would be the personality. So they're transporting him because we still have a pulse on him, so they're gonna transport him, okay? Oh my! But just deep breath.
Calm down, let.
Just deep breath. We don't know if there's gonna be any.
It's just my opinion. Up until this point, she thought he was gone. I see a woman that, in my opinion, I think she thinks he's gone. Maybe she's in shock. But when they tell her they got a pulse, she's like, "Oh my God!" Jacqueline says, "I just want to say thank you for content. Been here 3 months. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. I appreciate you for being a member. Thank you, and thank you for your comment." So in this video, in this part, what I see is like I think she already thought he was gone. So when she finds out he's alive, she's like, "Oh my God!" And maybe like a sigh of like, "Oh," Like, that's what I think I see here, but I'm no body language expert. Now, I will go to, I'm going to go to school for that because I want to use it in covering my true crime. But that's what I feel like I see here. I feel like she looks relieved. I don't know. I mean,
until it would be the personality.
So they're transporting him because we still have a pulse on him, so they're gonna transport him, okay?
Oh my!
But just deep breath.
Calm down, let,
Just deep breath. We don't know if it's gonna be anything that's gonna be viable, but that's why they're transporting him, okay?
But they won't. They're
Gonna keep
They're
trying.
gonna
They're
keep
gonna keep trying,
yes.
okay? To get him to go breathing on his own.
So at 7:15, he wakes up, you give him the tea. Did he say or do anything?
Yeah, he.
and I want to be clear, other people see something different, and I'm not here to tell you what you should see, that it should agree with what I see. If you see something different, that's what you see. That's just my opinion.
We had gotten in
Yes.
we were not okay yesterday.
So yes, so Vaughn already got a check from the VA. Now, if he were to pass, she would get widow's benefits from the VA. So.
Before you went to sleep?
Apply and to comfortable. This is it. So I asked him for church, but I told her here they can come out here.
If you need,
Yeah, I'm paying for so I wondered if lightheaded with friends. So I know distant children appointment, but
driver's license?
he's doing. It's like he is. I could tell. I don't know how, but he himself right now. Message everyone right now. Yeah.
Okay.
So told like blood.
Check on it. Accident and write down, call that number? Okay.
All right, so he's going and he's going to say, mind you, he has no gloves on. He picks a rope up, looks at it, and he does say, I don't see the knife. Oh, sorry. What did I do?
And we had our and he asked me.
This is the case number. That's
Wait,
my name
that's
and
sorry,
employee
hold on.
number. This is the non-emergency number to the police department. If you have any questions, call that number and give them that case number. Okay? If you want to get the services of Amberley's Place,
I actually think it's on another video. All right, so hold on. Let me go grab the other video really quickly. I have that new Miley Cyrus song stuck in my head. I love it. It's so stuck. I just can't get it out of my head. All right, so let's get back here. All right. Train. Here we go. at this point, he's taken his body cam.
Maybe.
He takes his body cam to kind of raise it up so you can see higher into the building. Okay, does that look like a part of the rope right there? Am I tripping? Is that the other side of the rope? I think it is. Surely it won't be that out there though. I don't know. I don't see it anywhere else though.
Maybe.
There is the rope.
That y'all heard him? Where's the knife? Just no gloves. I don't think we heard that.
Yeah.
There is the rope.
Where is the knife? That's what he said. Where is the knife? I know it's not considered a homicide, but when you get a call, you're supposed to treat every situation like a potential crime scene. So you're supposed to wear gloves, you're supposed to tape it off, you're supposed to take photos. And I've heard several people that works in law enforcement say that. That's how they catch people that set up something to look like a suicide. And I'm not saying that's what happened here. I'm just saying, um, you know, times where it looks like a suicide happened and the cops find out it was not a suicide, that it was in fact a murder. That's how they find it out. It's because they went into the situation, collecting evidence, treating it like it was a crime scene. That I think that's like Law Studies 101. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's like known. Like when you go, you wear your gloves, you collect evidence just in case. Because if something comes up like, oh crap, that person didn't do that themselves, it seems like they may have been murdered. Well, then you don't contaminated the scene and you didn't take photos and you just screwed it up, you know? So they're supposed to go into everything like it's a potential crime scene. That's the stool that she said that she, tried to stand on.
I don't see a knife. I don't see a knife.
There he says it again. I don't see a knife. I don't see a knife. I actually set it to play twice and I increased the volume so you guys could hear it. But we'll back it up. I don't see a knife. I don't see a knife.
I don't see a knife. I don't see a knife. Scissors.
Okay, so here's where he talks to her, and he asks her about like how she cut him down.
A knife? Oh,
It's back there still.
a knife? Oh. I'm about to go to the hospital to check on him. What did you cut him down with? A knife? Oh.
It's back there still.
Where was he? Was he in the front?
He was facing forward, but slightly to the right.
Slightly
Just
to
like
the right?
barely, slightly to the right.
At the front of the shed, in the back, in the middle?
When you walk in, you walk in and he was where you're at.
Right there. Okay, so the front of the shed is right here?
No, the front of the shed is right here.
And he was about right here? A step or two in?
More like this.
Okay. Okay. All right, and you cut him with just regular.
No, he has a really sharp knife.
Okay, and you used his knife to cut it.
Yeah, he recently sharpened it, so it's really sharp.
Okay, all righty. Do you have any questions for me? Is there anyone I can try to get a hold of to try to come here for you?
I don't think that's gonna be good because the children don't know. They thought so, and I can't lie to my children. And they asked if I said, well, he was unconscious, but he's at the hospital. And my daughter asked, did he hurt himself? And I said, he did, but he has a pulse, so they're trying to help him.
I want to say something because well, for one, I actually do care about Vaughn. Like, you can ask her. I've talked to her a bunch of times about trying to reach out to other veterans. Like, that's what I want to do eventually. We just have so many kids and stuff, but I want to reach out to homeless veterans that are struggling.
Can I say something? Sean actually has talked in great length about starting an organization where we help veterans. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I want to start an organization. I want to reach out to the veteran on the street corner that's struggling with drug addiction, because it's roughly 22 veterans a day taking their own life. And so I actually care a great deal, and so does Elle. She knows people that I've served with that have taken their life. And honestly, I don't even know if I could tell you right now. I'd have to sit and count up all the veterans, all the men that I've served with that have taken their own life in one form or another, whether it was overdosing, which we don't know if that's intentional or not.
Yeah. And we had a period where over about 3 months there was how many that died? A lot.
Like 3.
I mean, I thought it was more than that. It was like 5.
3 or 4. I mean, I don't know. I've lost a lot of friends that I served with that I knew really well for a long time. One of my friends, I watched the dash cam footage of him take his own life by pulling a weapon on a police officer.
Mm-hmm. That's on YouTube still.
That's on
day.
YouTube.
It's
I mean,
terrible.
it's all over. And I didn't even know he had passed away until his ex-girlfriend told me about it. And she said the footage was on YouTube. And I pulled it up and I watched it. And it was terrible. But it's dash cam, body cam footage is a reality. It's of the world we live in now. And it sucks. But, I mean, you literally hear that man die. But the whole point that I'm trying to make is I care a lot about Vaughn and other veterans that are struggling. I know some of the struggles that combat veterans struggle with after being in combat. I know that personally firsthand. But the thing that I want to say the most real quick, and then I got to go back inside, was if this, I think I want to, maybe some people haven't thought about this from this aspect. Like, what if this was your sister in a relationship and who lived far away from her family, and the man would not give her any access to the money, right? She couldn't drive. She didn't have a job. She didn't have any access to her money. She was having marriage problems, and it just seemed like from video footage, he was always gaslighting her and telling her, like, never, everything that he said was, or she said, was crazy or not in touch with reality, or he was just losing it. I think a lot of people would feel a lot different about this if it was like their sister in a situation like that, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because then you would think, wow, that man was controlling everything and had her trapped basically as a prisoner. Well, that's what I see in this case. I mean, that's what I've seen. And there was a recording out. Like, we're not speculating about these people's lives. We know about it because there were recordings released. She documented 90% of it. So all the comments that I've seen that are like, I can't believe y'all are showing this, or I would, I'm glad nobody's speculating about my life. Like, we're not speculating. Not 90% of their life was documented. And really, I've watched so many channels that show body cam footage, dash cam footage. I never see all these comments. I really feel like this is targeted
It is. Well,
BS.
from a specific person. But this is a true crime channel from now on. I was literally covering a trial today that talked about a boy's brains being blowed out. I mean, and guess what? The boy's brother was sitting in the courtroom and he had to hear it, and it sucks. But when you cover true crime, you cover this kind of stuff, and it sucks. You know,
Go ahead. I didn't know somebody was
Yeah, and I didn't destroy her life because I was one of the creators that was pretty easy about the situation. That just gave my. I never encouraged anyone to harass her. Before I even started covering this story, she had already like withdrew from social media because she was getting a lot of flack, a lot of pushback. And the main pushback that she was getting first was due because Vaughn's biological parents had to find out that he was in a coma on social media. And a lot of people didn't agree with that. A lot of people felt like, wow, that's BS that that his family had to find out that he was in a coma due to social media. And then what she told everyone was that it was due to seizures, and it wasn't seizures. That was a lie. Um, you know, if anybody has that report, I would love to read but I haven't seen the full report. And I do feel like talking about my arrest and people speculating on it is comparing apples to oranges. Because I'm a YouTuber. I had like 8,000 subscribers when that happened to me. I do not put my life on YouTube. She put her life on YouTube. Her kids, her family. I mean, her full family. Their life was basically a reality show through her Facebook. She had 600,000 followers. I had 8. I was just a YouTuber at the time, only covering reality TV. I was talking about teen mom drama. And because another creator did not like me, the second I was arrested, somehow she knew. Somehow she was following my local police department when we live states away from each other. She knew somehow. And when she went on and told everybody and they started talking about it, guess what? Did I like it? No. Could I stop it? No, I couldn't. And I couldn't stop it. I mean, it sucked, but and a lot of people had their theories and they were judgmental, and it was what it was because I am, I guess, a public figure. They say when stuff does happen, people talk about it.
Oh, and you better believe it affected us too drastically. Your channel was growing like crazy, and then after that whole situation, mixed with a couple other situations, we definitely were affected by it drastically. But I want to say something else to that real quick, and then I'm gone. So who cares if the investigation is closed, Georgia? What does that mean?
But that's what we were talking about.
What does that even mean? It doesn't matter. Like, are we not allowed to point out clear abuse, in our opinion, if an investigation is closed? Like, you didn't accuse her of killing Drake.
Well, that's been a false narrative that's been pushed out by other creators that I said she killed Vaughn. I never say she killed Vaughn. And I wouldn't say that she killed Vaughn. There's only one person that I know of, only one creator that said Dre killed Vaughn, and that was Katie Joy from Without a Crystal Ball. There's proof out there that she said it. Throughout the full time of me covering this topic, there was a lot of videos that we did. And because Dre had so much content out there, we would do videos watching a lot of her content and just kind of talking about it. And did I give theories at times? Absolutely. I gave theories because I was covering the situation, but I would never instruct people to go attack this woman. Well,
Yeah, it did, but we
yeah,
opened
it did.
ourselves up to that when she started a YouTube channel.
And I couldn't stop it.
But the thing is her YouTube channel didn't consist of
My real life.
her entire life. Like,
It
she
did
was
not.
covering reality TV at the time. Dre basically broadcasted her entire life.
I mean, she showed her husband having seizures.
Like, that she was not even smart enough not to broadcast them bringing prescription drugs across the border. Like, that's a felony. Like, you get in a lot of trouble for that. And she literally broadcasted it to the world. Like,
In my opinion, if Vaughn would have been in the hospital on life support due to seizures, if seizures would have landed him in the hospital, she would have broadcasted that to the world, and she would still be out there broadcasting him. If he would have died, she would have went live at his funeral. The only reason she wasn't honest about it is because he attempted to kill himself, and that obviously was not good. That could reflect badly on her, and expose the fact that they had a lot of issues. Which, like I said in the beginning of this video, I don't feel like it's anyone's business if a man and a wife are having problems and they have a YouTube channel where they're on. If me and Sean was fighting earlier today and he came out here, I would not expect him to be like, well, me and Elle been fighting. It's none of y'all's business. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't even like, oh, she's such a fake. We didn't know they've been having problems. Clearly they've been having problems, but we didn't even know that. I understand that. I think that's normal that she wouldn't tell us that. That's probably the one thing that she really wasn't oversharing was the problems they were having with each other. So Bree, mama of three, she Candy, you know who she is. She just changed her name. Yeah. Keep in mind these were not edited videos of Dre. They were from her Facebook account that we would go and watch, and we would just kind of talk about, and I never accused her. That's what you guys don't understand. People coming in here like, she's been exonerated. I never accused her of a crime. I never accused her of a crime. I only said, this is the story. Let me tell you guys, if this was to happen to another influencer that had 600,000 followers and I covered the topic, would you guys have a problem with it? Would you guys have a problem with it? If it was anybody else, it's only because everybody's jumped on this little train that people has a problem with it. When I was doing my live stream earlier about Alec Murdoch, and they were explaining how he allegedly blew his son's brains out, none of you guys came in here saying, you shouldn't be doing this. How dare you go live and show the trial where they're saying that? What if his family sees that? I mean, let me tell you, I've had some pretty hurtful stuff broadcasted about me, and it was what it was. It sucked. But Dre has no grounds to sue me at all. I've never accused her of any crimes. I've said, in my opinion, it was financial abuse because she withheld money. And we've seen proof of that. Unless someone can show me that it was fake screenshots, then I would gladly go back and say, wow, that was fake screenshots. That sucks, That's terrible that someone released those screenshots knowing the effect it would have on this person. Hold on, guys. Hold on, babe. Yeah, I mean, I talked about how they shouldn't have been, going across the border, sneaking drugs across the border. I said that I didn't think that it was right that she gave her kids kratom, and that it was my opinion that they may overtook some of the kratom. And she even said that in the video with the police. She said, I think that maybe he was taking too much, or maybe it had bad effects on him. So I really don't know people. The thing is, the people that come in here and say X Y Z, they've been told stuff that I've said and done that is just not true. Um, I said law enforcement did not investigate this properly, and we saw clear evidence of that in the body cam footage. When the officers are in there without gloves on, they never asked for the knife. They never said, "Where is the knife?" So I just felt like everyone should get a proper investigation if something like this happens in their life, whether they try to take their own life or whether somebody do it to them. Everybody is entitled to that. That way their family is given the best assurance of what happened. If the family pulls the body cam and sees this happening, then they're going to be like, oh my God, how do we really know what happened? It doesn't look like they investigated this. So I just feel like if this would have been Dre, if this would have been vice versa, okay, if this would have been reverse, Dre would have been absolutely entitled to the best investigation possible. Sean, did you call me on accident or on purpose? Yeah, and she definitely, and I had people comment saying she didn't give her kids kratom. I actually saw a video of her giving them kratom, and she talks about giving them kratom. Even little Raza talks about, drinking the kratom tea. She did give them other stuff as well. I don't remember what it was called, flower passion or something like that. But she talked about her daughter, who was a teenager, 14, who lost 20 pounds. A 14-year-old should not be losing weight. They should be gaining weight. Especially not 20 pounds, So I'm just saying there's some things I don't agree with. I hate that Von's story got muddied with drama that was used by creators that disliked other creators, because that's what happened in this story, you guys. Like I said, I have been covering other cases where, Quentin Simon, Athena Brown, Athena Brownfield, Bree Mama 3, girls haters are going to hate. Exactly. I'm covering so many other topics that nobody's coming in here saying, how dare you? What if their siblings see this? What if their kids see this? This is now a true crime channel. Okay? Nobody else is saying this. Covering this story, there was other creators who decided they were going to use this story as a way to attack creators they did not like. That's what happened. That's the bottom line. And then those creators went and twisted things that we said, went and lied about things that we were saying, and just acted like we were just terrible people. I encourage you to watch all my videos about Marvon, or watch my last 5 videos on my channel and see how I cover cases. I do this because I have a love for people. I have a love for children, and I'm not doing this to make a bunch of money off of it. This is my job, so I do want to get paid for my job. But I have another channel, the Bash Chat, that I'm bringing back, that I'm going to do reality TV, entertainment news, celebrity news as my way to kind of supplement covering true crime, because you don't make money on true crime. And I do have 6 children. I do have a family, and this is my full-time job. And I don't make nothing on true crime. I put a lot of time and effort into it, but people saying I'm doing this to make a lot of money. Girl, I've never made a lot of money on YouTube, so miss me with that, okay? I've never made a lot of money. There is creators out there lying on creators that make way more than I do. Absolutely, this story was weaponized by creators to attack other creators. that those specific creators did not like. And if you are entertaining that or being a part of that, you should be ashamed of yourself. Anybody want to come on here saying I should be ashamed of myself because I'm covering a story when I'm a true crime channel? Okay. When you are literally taking a story about a veteran, a father, a brother, a son, and you were muddying his story up because a creator sent you, or because a creator told you XYZ and you have not watched my channel enough to know if it's actually accurate, you should be ashamed of yourself because you are part of the problem.
I'll just go back to covering the story. I wasn't worried
Oh,
about it
well,
too much.
I was just
didn't
gonna-
mean to get you off track.
No, it's okay. But to the person that said, like, you're right. I had 8,000 followers and it was crazy. And let me tell you something. The people that covered my arrest, I was arrested 3 weeks after my 3-year-old nephew died unexpectedly. And they beat me so terribly when I was down. They accused me of being a drug addict. They said CPS needed to investigate me. They did all kind of stuff. And I just had to lay there and take it. And it sucked. But I've not done nothing like that to this woman. But anyways, so here they are asking her about the knife, and he never asked her for the knife, which in my opinion was not okay. He should have asked her for the knife. He should have got the knife.
And I feel like if I had more people come, it would trigger more
Right.
because they're used to me having to leave to the hospital. They're old enough to be at home with themselves, and I
Right.
worry that if more people, that would raise more.
All right, if you need anything, please give us a call, okay?
I will.
I missed that.
Here for you.
I don't think that's gonna be good because the children don't know. They got so, and I can't lie to my children.
Right.
They children don't know. They got.
Used his knife to cut it.
Yeah, he never like
The front of the shed is right here.
the right.
Knife.
It's back there.
What did you cut him down with? A knife?
It's back there still.
Where was he? Was he in the front?
He was facing forward, but slightly to the right.
Slightly
Just
to
like
the right.
barely, slightly to the right.
At the front of the shed, in the back, in the
When
middle,
you walk in, you walk in and he was where you're at.
right there. Okay, so the front of the shed is right here.
No, the front of the shed is right here.
And he was about right here. A step or two in.
No, we're like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and you cut him with just regular.
No, he has a really sharp knife.
Okay, and you used his knife to cut it.
Yeah, he recently sharpened it, so it's really sharp.
Okay, all righty. Do you have any questions for me? Is there anyone I can try to get a hold of to try to come here for you?
I don't think that's gonna be good because the children don't know. They got so, and I can't lie to my children.
Right.
They asked if I said.
So he never said, like, we need the knife. And I personally just think they should have took the knife into evidence, just in case. And I'm not saying, it's not because I'm saying, well, I think Dre did X, Y, Z. You just never know what's going to happen, So, right, why didn't he ask her what she did with the knife? Absolutely. Where was the knife? Jennifer says, thanks, Elle, for everything you do, and thanks your husband for his service. Thank you so much. Lisa says, what I love about Elle is she is the mom first, then creator. Seen it with my eyes seen it with my own eyes so many times. Her family comes first. They absolutely do. Raven_heart for you. I don't understand why they didn't take her into the building and ask her to show them. Yeah, that's what I said from day one. And I got to remind you guys, when I came across this story, I was just hearing about this vet who tried to unalive himself, and his wife was this big influencer, and there was a lot of questions surrounding what was happening, so I dived right into this. I'm hearing the parents had to find out on social media. The wife lied about it and said he was on life support due to seizures. And I'm like, whoa, what? Like, hold up, what? You know, so someone said earlier this was a true crime. It kind of was. I mean, she's like this influencer with 600,000 followers. And at the time when I'm hearing all these things, and you're hearing that the wife didn't even say that her husband was on life support in the hospital for like a week or two, I think it was. And then when she finally did say, she lied about why. And then, you know, come to find out, the parents had to find out what really happened. So when you're first hearing the details of this, it definitely seemed like it was leaning towards true crime. You know what I'm saying? But the story, if this was a man that had done this to a woman, and the woman was some big time, and the man was a big time influencer that had a lot of followers, and come to find out, he had been, you know, withholding money from his wife. His wife seemed to be depressed. Um, his wife, he lied on social media about what happened to his wife. I mean, we would be all over that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's he hiding? So that was my take on it when I first heard about this. I'm like, what is going on here? Why does she feel the need to lie? You know, what do we not, what do we not know? You know, so if people can't understand that, that's okay. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm not going to try to change your opinion. I'll tell you why I covered this. Um, Amanda T said, I believe this was a true crime case. It was investigated. Um, Stephanie says, after seeing this footage, I do feel sorry for Dre. I don't agree with her way of life, but I don't think she meant to hurt Vaughn. Jill says Dre didn't want them in the house. They should have checked the children. Sloppy police work. That's one thing that I also said as well. Usually, when something like this happens, they do go in the house and speak to people that's there. Now, I get it; these are children, so you don't want to disrupt the children. You don't want to worry the children, and that was the reason they said they didn't. Um, the Dark Lord said, "Why is the knife important? If he's alive and wasn't stabbed or claiming that she did anything, is Vaughn coherent?" No, he was not coherent. When they got there, there was no pulse at first, but they got a pulse upon working on him. But the knife is important because she says she cut him down with the knife, right? So you would assume that the knife would be somewhere in that shed, but it was not there. The knife was gone. The knife that she used to cut him down with was nowhere in that shed. Did she go bring it back in the house? Like, did she stick it in her purse? So usually you just treat every scene like a crime scene, and you always get as much evidence as you can. So the knife will be like, I'm like, everybody has been like, they should have got the knife. Like, why did they not get the knife? You know, so and even the officer said, I don't see the knife. Like, he even questioned, like, well, where's this knife? You know, if you walk in on your husband and he's like this, and you can get to a knife really quickly, and you're gonna cut him down, and like she said, he falls and hits his head really hard. Aren't you just gonna like throw the knife and get down there at your, you know, like, where did the knife go? It wasn't in the shed. It didn't appear to be in the shed. So we just don't know everything, and that is, yeah. Christina Nicole said, Elle Bee, the knife is in the shed. Where can I send it? Oh, you can send it to my email. I would love to see that. Thank you. I tried to slow motion when I was editing to see if I could see it anywhere, and I didn't see it. So if I'm wrong, I would love to see it. We could. There's my email. I'll pin it to the top. Roxanne said, I never believed Dre, but who am I to argue with? That's the way I feel. I'm like, who am I to argue with, you guys? I'm a nobody. A lot of you people coming in here arguing with me don't even like me. So why do you care what my opinion is? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the way that I feel. Like, if I don't even know you or like you, I don't care what your opinion is of me. It is what it is. If you are my follower and you really do like my content and you really do enjoy being here, like, I love you and I appreciate you. But I don't know how many times I have people come in here and say, I really love your channel, but I'm so disappointed in you. And it's like, I've never seen you before, though. So how do you really love my channel if I've never seen one comment on any of my 2,000 videos? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like people say that, because they want the creator to be like, oh my God, I'm losing a follower, when really they're not a follower. Let me know when you send that. I'm going to, because here we are in the shed here. Thank you, all apologies. Thank you guys so much. You guys that have stuck with me through this. It's been a crazy ride. Crazy ride. Raven says the knife is important because she said he hit his head when he fell. If this was a crime and he died from blunt force trauma versus hanging, it would be important evidence. Yeah. Just saying. Just saying. YouTube gaslighting. Yeah. Thank you, Dark Horse Justice. Thank you. Candy says, I've been friends with Elle for going on 4 years now, and I can tell y'all, I wouldn't be here if she wasn't a great person with a great heart, a good heart, and a desire to help each other, a desire to help others. Thank you so much, Candy. Candy's my BFF. My A1 day one? Day one A1? My ride or die? All right, so look in here. I don't see anything. What is that? Is that a sword? How did I miss that? Is that a sword? Y'all, is this what she means, his knife? Can somebody that knows about Vaughn's knife tell me if this, because that's not a knife, that's a sword. And tell me how she cut him down with something that big. Thank you, Pat. It may take a minute for it to turn you green. Yeah, this story was all around the world. Exactly. People in different countries were praying for Vaughn. That's true. Can you imagine, like, trying to use that? I would have been scared I was going to decapitate my husband. Like, if that's what she used. And to me, if I would have used that, I would have said, well, I used my husband's sword. You know, well, I used my husband's sword to cut him down. Not my knife. That is by no means a knife. That's Amber Portwood's. Exactly. That's machete. She said knife and showed it long with her hands. Like, did she say that big, though? Yeah, she used King Arthur's sword to cut him down. Exactly. That's bigger than her. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Casey, I scared you. I can't see her using that as, maybe. I mean, here's the thing. Let me be honest with you guys. If I walked in on my husband and I saw that thing and I needed to get him down, I would be terrified that was going to cut his head off. But I mean, I would get that thing and I would go to sawing, you know, and just be like, please God, please God, please God, please don't let me cut him. Please don't let me cut him. Because I'd be trying to get him down. I don't think she said pocket knife. I think she has mentioned that he carries a knife in his pocket, but I don't know if it is a legit pocket knife. That I don't know. But if she used that, good googly moogly, that is a huge weapon. Wow. Yeah. Angie Lee says, the knife is worrisome. I cannot lie. You'd think it would still be on the ground. She had to have taken it back in the house? Okay. Do you have the 911 audio? I do, but I don't know where. I would have to look for it. I do have the original police report. Well, I have the redacted version, but I would have to look for that as well. But if you guys give me a second, I could probably. All right, let me see. So this is the incident analysis report. It shows like all the calls that have been put in, the dates. I really don't think this is anything of any importance. If anybody has it, send it to me because it would take me a while to find it probably. So this is just showing the calls that have been made and what they were made for. 7-Eleven. Okay, so 5:23 was when it happened. Suicide attempt. The officers, Egan, Reed, Iguana, I don't know. A follow-up on 6:22. Threatening or intimidating call. So she said she called the police saying she was being threatened. That was 7-6. She called the police on 7-10 saying she was being harassed. 7-11, she got a follow-up. A lot of calls that had happened, which, I think some of those were the neighbors from my understanding. 9 to 5, babe, 33. Elle looks too young to be a mom of 6. It's true. But thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. All right, so this is the detailed report. Thank you, Alexandra G. Thank you so much. All right, so date, Andre, Marvon. 5:14 between 1900 and 2200 hours. The address. Andre had Marvon's phone, was scrolling through his text message. Marvon took his cell phone. Andre McCray, she said that incident left her with a broken foot. Wait. She said after that incident, her left foot broke. Andre McCray advised her. Andre McCray advised her had been broken before, but was not sure how. It broke after Marvon McCray took his phone from her hands. Andre McCray said Marvon McCray did not push her, but she wasn't sure how her foot broke. The report was taken for informational purposes only. CD on 5:15. I dispatched Human Regional Medical located at blah 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 blah. The service that occurred. Female Andre McCray spoke with a nurse in reference to a domestic dispute that occurred at a residence. I arrived at Yuma, contacted Yuma medical nurse. She advised me that Andre McCray had a fracture on her foot and was skeptical about sharing the information about the domestic disturbance that occurred. And from my understanding, she broke her foot while dancing on a stream. But then, okay, so this was another one of the reasons why people were upset with her. Because these reports come out where it appears like she is insinuating to the cops that Vaughn broke her foot, when she broke her foot on a stream while she was dancing. So I do remember people being upset about that. I asked her how she got that large bruise on her arm. Andre McCray said the way she believes she got the bruise is as he was trying to grab her phone, he turned her body away from him and may have hit her left arm. Andre McCray was not sure how the bruise got on her left arm. I asked her how she may have broke her foot. Andre McCray said she had a broken foot in the past, but was not sure how her left foot broke. So I do remember people like getting upset. She's had her foot broken separate times. So, okay. Well, I do know one time was with her dancing. So, okay, let's see. This is the police reports from other situations that This video is already too long to go over all that. I'm trying to find the 911 call because I did have it. I absolutely had it. So I'm trying to find it. I'll look for it. Pat, you're still not showing up as a member. It might just take some time. Sometimes YouTube is glitchy, so. But yeah, welcome to the Elle Bee Fam Bam. Thank you. She originally broke her foot when she lived in California. Pat, if you can check your bank account and see if it went through on that end. Hold on, I think I can check it actually. So let me say this for everyone that's like, are you going to say that she was cleared of a crime? Are you going to apologize to her? Well, they investigated this. Why did they do an investigation if they just thought that this was a suicide? No question. Well, because most of the time you do an investigation, you know? So they investigated this to make sure that this was not something else. They closed the investigation. There was also a CPS investigation. So they've closed the CPS investigation and they closed any police investigation into this case. Dre was not ever accused of any crime from me. As far as killing Vaughn, I said it's my opinion that there was financial abuse. She was a little controlling, and they, well, I did say, with her, them smuggling drugs across the border, that was a crime. From my understanding, it is. But she was cleared from being responsible for Marvon's situation. It is still my opinion that their troublesome marriage led him to be completely depressed, and he felt trapped. I want to apologize for that because that is my opinion. Now, I will say I hate that things got like they did, and I think they got like they did because people didn't know what was happening here. And a lot of people just thought the worst and started speculating. And unfortunately, in the world of YouTube, that happens a lot. Yes, the fam bam. I'm your mom and Sean is your daddy. Heather, I've gotten that a lot. You're going to apologize? And I'm like, what did I do? Having an opinion? I'm sorry, that's why I have a channel, having an opinion. Did Marvon pass away? I do not know if he passed away. I have no knowledge of how Marvon is. I pray that Marvon is okay. I pray that a miracle happened and that he is back home with his family, if that's where he, so chooses to be. But I don't know. If I ever hear of how he is doing and we get some solid confirmation, I will let you guys know. Because as much as people's like, you shouldn't talk about this, I started covering this story, and this story was introduced to a lot of my followers, and I'm not going to just abandon it because other content creators want to use this story as a way to attack me. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, every time I talk about Vaughn, I get haters and trolls, and then this other creator does videos on me and gives him content. I'm not doing it. I care about the story, and I will continue to talk about it if things come up. Wow, Crystal, I'm sorry. Now, like I said, I was contacted. If I can get the full, report from where they closed the investigation, if anybody has it, I would absolutely want to go over it because a lot of people's like, are you going to go over it? I don't have it. I had the last sheet and I went over the last sheet. But I will absolutely go over that. I was contacted. Someone said, hey, there's this video that Dre did. It was a live stream that she did with like her loyal few after everything popped off when she kind of went into retreat. And in this video, she's trying to collect evidence through her videos of where Marvon said he didn't want to have anything to do with his family, that he regretted reconnecting with his family. She was looking for evidence to really back up her decision of why she didn't let Marvon's biological parents know what was happening. And in this video, she's calling people like, please go look at my older content. We need footage of him, calling it, saying that his grandma is his mom. We need footage of him saying he regretted reconnecting with his family. So the video is like an hour and 58 minutes long, but it's a video I've never seen before. And when she does this video, she says, I need all this content because I'm going to go live tonight and I'm going to address the haters. I'm going to address everyone that's saying that I'm in the wrong, that's attacking me, and I'm going to show them that, like, this is what Vaughn would want, and I'm going to defend myself. I don't think she ever went live and did that. Well, I know she didn't because that was not out there. So I'm not seeing that particular video, but it happened before Letitia and them went out to see Vaughn, because she said Vaughn's sister posted a photo of her like in a plane or something. And I've heard that his mom may be coming out here. If they do come out here, I will tell them to leave. Like, I will not let them see Vaughn. So that video, I have it. It's an hour and a half long. All right, it's an hour and 58 minutes long. And if you guys want to go over it, we can go over it tomorrow. So you just let me know. People, please, Dre put Vaughn on video in the hospital in a coma. Yes, she did. Well, I apologize to an abusive, gaslighting, evil-ass woman. If people can't see all the red flags, then God help them. Yeah. All right. So I'm looking at my recent members. I'm not seeing you, Pat. Pat, I would wait just to make sure it doesn't come out of your account or anything. And then try again. Maybe in a couple of days. I don't know what happened, and I'm sorry. I apologize. You might not be certified a member, but you're a member. We know you're a member, okay? But thank you all for hanging out with me tonight. We're going to do a quick stream about Quentin Simon because Leilani was in court today. There's not a lot of info on that, but I think we'll do a quick live to talk about that. And then I get caught up on Teen Mom because, like I said, I'm going to start, they had the Teen Mom family reunion going on, and apparently Ryan Edwards returns. Ryan Edwards is returning to Teen Mom, you guys. So I'm going to be covering that over on the Bash Chat, and that channel is not monetized yet, but true crime really is more like my passion. I care about it. It makes me feel like I'm doing something that matters, covering stories about missing people, missing children, putting that information out there. Right, Leilani was not there. But you don't really make a lot of money with true crime, and this is my job. So the Bash Chat, we're bringing that back up. If you're not subscribed to it, please go subscribe to it. We're trying to get it brought back up. So I got to watch all the recent episodes of the Teen Mom to get caught up on that, so I can start putting content over on the Bash Chat for that. I never wanted to become a member of a channel, not even the ones I might own. Hopefully next month. Oh, thank you, Casey. Thank you. Trolls left. Thank the stars. Yeah, I guess they got tired. I think they came here hoping that we would like flip out, flip out, but we're not going to do that. Sean. Yes, Shorty. Thank you, Shorty. I do see that, creative. It's a lot. And I want to talk about it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and close this one out. Ryan does return to Teen Mom Family Reunion. They say that he declined offers to come back before, but because this was going to work on he and Macy's like co-parenting, they were going to get counseling together. He decided to come back for it. So we're going to talk about that. Ryan, yeah. But anyways, you guys, give this video a thumbs up. Tomorrow we have the Alec Murdaugh trial. We are picking up on that at 9:30 in the morning. And you guys, if you're not following that trial, follow it. This man, Alec Murdaugh, is accused of killing his wife and his son. And this was a family dynasty in South Carolina. He was a prosecutor. His dad was a prosecutor. His grandfather was a prosecutor. Like, they had to take, his grandpa had a big photo in the courtroom where they are trying Alex's case. They had to take the photo of his grandpa down. They had over 200 jurors come in, potential jurors, and they asked, if you know Alec Murdaugh, of him, worked with him, familiar with this case, please stand up. Every person stood up. Like, this was a very prominent family in the area. Come to find out, he was stealing money. He would win settlements for his clients, and then he would take the money. Roxy said they owned the courthouse at one time, I heard. I thought courthouses were like government properties. I don't know. More than 100 years in that family. So he had just got confronted with stealing money, right? And the next day, his wife and his son is shot. Cold blood murdered. They say, people believe that he shot them to get the sympathy that would come with that, to kind of, because, you know, he was about to be arrested for like embezzlement or whatever, but he had life insurance on him. So between like getting the life insurance to help kind of figure out, you know, like pay back some of the money maybe, and the sympathy that it would bring for him to lose his wife and his son, and maybe they wouldn't press charges if he just lost his wife and his son. That's why they believe he did this. This, you guys, this story is just wild. They literally had to take a picture of his grandpa down out of the court. So it's wild. If you are not familiar with the case, maybe watch a video on it tonight, and then join me tomorrow at 9:30 here, where we're going to continue to follow that trial. They did opening statements today, and it was wild. The opening statements seems like they're going to have a good bit of evidence on both sides. While listening to the prosecution, I'm like, he's guilty as sin. Then when listening to the defense, I'm like, maybe it wasn't him. So when it's like that, I feel like they're going to come out with some, like, it's going to be explosive, you know. So you guys join me tomorrow for that. We're also going to watch that video of Dre, where she's telling her followers to go look through her older footage to find videos of that. Yay, Pat, you become a member. Thank you so much, Pat. It worked. Finally worked. Welcome to the fam bam, Pat. You are officially a member. Thank you. So anyways, guys, 9:30 Central Time here. We're going to watch the, like, 4th day of the trial. They just did opening statements today. And then we're going to do the video, watch the video of Dre. It's an hour and 58 minutes long, though, so it's going to be a long one. And then hopefully we can upload some Team Mom content to the Bash Chat. So you guys give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys later. Oh, we'll be back live on TikTok in the morning. Maybe. I don't even know. Bye, you guys.